We're here, IHM Atlantic City. We're with my friend Jeff Kay, CEO, owner of Blissful Baths, mega entrepreneur, family man, home services guru, sales coaching guru. I don't know if did I leave anything else out.
Wow. Hell of an intro, Phil.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we had a production director, worked in the radio business, a legend in the radio business. His name was Steve Raymond, and this was his office. He launched CXL with Gary Fisher, and after we were acquired by iHeart, he retired, and we this space now. Originally, we put this up here as a backdrop to take pictures. We have could be like a little performance area for if there's an act in town, if they're doing an interview, or now our state-of-the-art podcast space, as we call it.
Nice.
But yeah, we're excited to have Jeff. I've known Jeff for a long time, and we're just gonna keep growing together and talk about the South Jersey business scene as a whole and what Jeff's been doing with Blissful Baths. First off, before we talk about Blissful Baths, I know you're the CEO and you were managing partner and worked at many home services companies. But before that, like pre roofing business, I'll say, like before I knew you, how'd you get your start kind of doing all this stuff?
Well, great question. I grew up here in South Jersey, blue collar family, and made my bones in the automotive space. Turning wrenches, working on vehicles, became ASE certified. I still hold an EPA license for Freon, so I can work on something as big as a water tower. I'm certified for that. But I was always attracted to this home remodeling space before it blew up into such a big thing, And my first intro to it was at a one-day bath company, ironically, who at the time was the largest in the space. Way back then, I'm going back pretty far. There was only two powerhouse bath remodeling companies, and I went into in-home sales with one of them. And they were a phenomenal company, well-oiled machine. I learned a tremendous amount from that, and that intrigued me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's great. So, when did you launch Blissful Baths?
So Blissful Baths launched officially January of 2024. Yeah, we launched it sort of a part-time thing. The purpose behind launching it was I wanted to give a few people who I knew were going to be out of work soon, wanted to give them something to do. They were good people. They worked with me previously, and I decided let's continue the mission that we were all driving toward to begin with. So I was working with another company in an entirely different market. And yeah, we launched it sort of, gave a couple people work from home, and let's see what we could do with this thing.
Yeah, that's funny. A bunch of people work together, different teams, different businesses, and you guys wanted to kind of stay together, put the band together.
Yeah, that's kind of where it is right now, man. Some of the band's back together, And look, I think that's a testament just to the camaraderie and the team building that we all do with each other.
Yeah. So you've grown a lot of companies. I guess what I'm getting at is, what's your favorite part about kind of being a startup? What do you like about having your hands in the cake batter, so to speak, and growing and handpicking who you're going to work with, and different positions, whether it's admin or people in sales or installers? Like, what's your favorite part about growing something from scratch? Not just with Blissful Baths, but any of the previous stuff that you've done.
And there's a lot to that question, but I think what it really comes down to is when you're in the middle of the operations, you learn to pivot and adapt quickly. And as companies, as the revenue grows, right, you go through these things called breakpoints in the business. And as you hit different breakpoints, when you once you've done this several times, you know what breakpoints are coming, you know where you're going to find them, so you can prepare. But I guess the most rewarding aspect from from being inside the business is sort of projecting we're about to hit this break point, making those changes in the processes, and that's the advantage to being in the middle of it all in the day to day at this point. And then you create the process, you measure the process, you optimize to get the results you're looking for, and then then you find the right people, you bring them in, train them, you hand it off to them, you watch them run with it. But my favorite part of it, to get back to your original question, it's handing it off to somebody and watching their eyes light up when it clicks and they kind of grow with the company.
Yeah, and they need to add more people to their leg of the team.
Absolutely. So as the way I've always done this at every company is plug the right person into the position, do exactly what we're talking about. Let them come in, create the position, develop it. We'll write the processes. We'll execute the processes. And then we have a baseline of metrics to which we can measure and compensate new employees on. And we train them to hit those metrics. And the best part of that is a lot of times I get asked through the interview and onboarding process, is there room for growth? Well, anytime we recruit somebody or I recruit somebody in any company, I'm looking to elevate that seat in that position. Mm-hmm. It's all about growth. If you're not growing, you're dying off in the business world. So it's very rewarding to watch somebody and help them build under them, and they naturally rise in the company. As they grow the company, they grow with it.
So starting it, you kind of have to. Some people have different skill sets, but I would say from top to bottom at your spot, you can do, like, if you had to install an outside shower, you could do it. If you had to go meet inside the home to do a consultation, you could do it. If you had to set up the website or do any of the bookkeeping stuff or do any of the paperwork stuff, you have that. So credit to you. You could start it and do all of the things, but then when you need someone to just do one focus area, is like run the install team, run the scheduling team, they could do it, and it may be a one-man job for now, but once you get bigger, their department just continues to add people and grow.
And that could be a blessing. It's the blessing that can be the curse, because when you have the ability to do 9 out of 10 things in the company, you can get really hung up in trying to just keep doing it yourself, because sometimes it's easier just to let me just handle it and get it done.
Yeah.
That poses challenges for me at times. Sometimes I need to step back and I say, there's way too many boxes to check today. What's going on? And I look at it and I say, well, why am I doing this and this and this? We have this guy who is able to do it. I trained him on it. So it's like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, there's different break points, growth problems, but besides you building and stuff like that, is there any mentors, business leaders, people you previously worked for that come to mind, or people you still talk to now?
Absolutely. Yes. I'm a big networker. I'm a student of the game, and I will be until I die when it comes to everything that I do. Probably my longest standing mentor is a guy named Grant Cardone. I studied his material and his team, and I still stay plugged into them. It's a general business, sales, marketing. A gentleman by the name of Dave Normandin. Dave is like a legend in the home remodeling industry. He had just retired last year, 50 plus years in business. Great guy, smart guy. He's run some of the largest in the country. Somebody you mentioned earlier, Gary, who used to own Equity Communications. I had a lot of really good conversations with Gary from a business perspective. I learned a lot from Gary. they're probably the three top people that come to mind for being
Yeah.
mentors.
Yeah, Gary. If you don't know Gary, he ran all the radio stations here in South Jersey. He was the same way. He could do, he can engineer and work on the towers and do that kind of technical stuff. But as far as running the business, sales, he voiced commercials. He was on air. He created promotions,
Mhm.
and at a certain point, yeah, he is like, I gotta hire smart people and let them do what they do, and you know, you can tell at times when you hit those break points or when you're growing, like it would be way easier for Gary to just jump in and try and fix it or make the call or try and close the you know ad campaign we were trying to sell or something like that. But he did it, man. He just literally
Yeah.
let us figure it out. It
Yep.
may have taken a little bit longer, but that's how you grow. That's so. Let's talk a little bit about Blissful Baths.
Yeah.
What are all the services you offer for the people that don't know?
So we are a certified BCI dealer. BCI is Bath Concepts Incorporated. I believe they're the largest acrylic manufacturer in the country, based out of Illinois. So we're a certified dealer. We do, the industry calls it 1-day bath replacements. I tell everybody it's a 1 to 2 day job for us, but we replace bathtubs, showers. We convert bathtubs to walk-in showers, and vice versa. We also do full bathroom remodels. We do window replacements, door replacements, and roofing and siding. I mean, they're the things that we do, but that's the primary focus. There's a big opportunity for us to make an impact on the industry in that 1-day bath space.
Especially down here, I think of areas like the villas where there may have been like sandy damage. They almost have to replace everything from soup to nuts, or the age of homes down here and just the kind of demographic of the people that are maybe over 55 and they're at this point in their life where they have to convert, a tub to a shower where they can walk in. They can't step over any longer, or they need a handrail or they need accessibility, different stuff like that. It's just when I saw you launch this, I was like, it's a big need for the market. There's nobody that really does it. That you could go to a tile company or a granite company and redo your kitchen or redo your bathroom, but this is a little bit different where it starts with the customer's need, where they have they need a switch, they need to make a change. You can come in pretty much a day and wipe it out and then show them their vision from new. So any interesting on that, anything recently down here or over the summer or so far in the business, what was the best family or best project that was most rewarding, just as far as you helped them out?
Yeah, that's an easy one. We have this family in Ventnor, and it's an interesting story. I'll make a long story short. We got a call one day from a mortgage broker out in California, and he told me the story that he had these clients in Ventnor, and they were looking to take a line of equity against their house, and they were all approved. The appraiser came out and said, we can't let you borrow against this because you have no bathroom, because they had hired a very large company to come in and convert their tub to a shower, replace their flooring, their sink and vanity, and their toilet. That company came in, tore it out, and they found significant rot in there because the window that was in the shower had been leaking for a long time. So they kept the deposit and walked away from these people. These people are about 70, right? So he was trying to help them find a solution. So he called me, I went out and looked at it, and there was some significant damage, but we put it together, and it took us a week to do this one, but we had to remove the exterior wall of the house, rebuild. It was a lot, right? We did it all for the same price that other company was going to charge just to do just the bathroom, and it came out beautiful. that would be a hard story to beat for us because these poor people were sitting out back. They're tight little yards, right? They were sitting out back every morning on a park bench with a tote full of water, getting bathed in their backyard.
Yeah,
For 3 months. Just
that's
why we do what we do, though, because when you see somebody's face light up over what we did, and the bathroom came out beautiful. But yeah, that's definitely the most rewarding one we've done. That'll stand out for a long time.
Yeah, that's something else. Yeah, I would say that's probably an extreme scenario, but there's probably smaller examples too of they just need a quick switch, like not a quick switch, but I'm downplaying it. I'm not giving you enough credit, but
Well, listen,
they don't know where to start, right? They don't know where to start,
don't.
and they can't take a shower, they can't take a tub because it's not accessible.
Here's an interesting stat that most people aren't aware of, right? The bathroom is the most dangerous area of the home because it's wet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's slippery, right? The stats like 73% of what are considered serious or fatal injuries happen in the bathroom. And it's usually because people are trying to step out of a tub that's wet, that's slippery, things like that. You would be blown away by how many people we go visit who have fallen in their bathtub and they've been injured, like significantly hurt. And a lot of these folks are older. A lot of them live by themselves, and you hear crazy stories, how long they were laying there hurt. I knew there's someone you and I both know, and I used to work with her, and she called me one morning, slipped getting out of her tub, broke her shoulder, was in an ambulance on the way to the hospital. It was the same exact scenario. So it's so common when you see those situations and you walk in. These folks have a need. It doesn't matter if they want to do it or not. They have to do this.
Sure.
That's rewarding in every case. And oftentimes, Phil, these people aren't prepared. So we have financing. We have so many ways to say, listen, take all the stress out of it. Let us solve the problem for you.
Yeah. You had mentioned some kind of books and people that and people that you stay connected with on the team with Grant and stuff. Is there any specific podcasts or stuff you're tapped into, books that you live by?
Listen, this. I listen to a lot on Audible. I listen to books. I have a library. I don't know how many hundreds of books I have. But I listen to them over and over. I study them. The one I'm on right now is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm on like my third time listening to that one again. As far as podcasts, I have a whole list of them. A lot of them are industry specific, home remodeling. It's a great way for me to stay up to date on what's going on in the industry, a lot of technology, a lot of trends. But books, yeah, every one of Grant's books. I've listened. Yeah. I've studied those things infinitely. Yeah, I mean,
being a student of the game.
Absolutely. Listen, self-improvement is one of our core values.
Sure.
Like I'm big on self-improvement, so I have to practice what I preach.
Yeah. With it in your space, is it more, not just for Blissful Baths, but in the home remodeling space, is it more evergreen promotions and financing that you have all the time, or is there certain stuff during different seasons people should look out for, or a mix of both?
Yeah, it's a mix of both. What happens a lot of times, we always have some great financing programs in place. We have a phenomenal product line for financing. But certain times of the year, we know that our volume is going to ramp up. So what happens in a lot of these partnerships with the lenders, you sort of game plan the year, and you give them projections of how much business do we think we're going to give them at certain, through certain quarters, certain months. And when the volume is projected to be higher, they give us incentives to use better financing programs. That way they help us promote to meet those targets, those revenue targets. So
it's better for you, and it's better for if someone wants to finance a home project, they can take advantage of that.
It's a
Or,
win. It's a
certain
win-win.
rates are going to come down.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
And then the actual hard materials yourself, I imagine that fluctuates. There was a crazy time a few years ago where the siding material,
Mhm.
all the building material kind of shot way up. But it probably vice versa. There's some times of the year where you guys are going to buy a ton or do a ton of installs, or just the industry as a whole is just going to be a lot of stuff flying.
Yeah, it's
Supply and demand.
Yeah, especially in the Northeast, there really is seasonality. No matter what aspect of this you're in, there's seasonality to a degree. But yeah, look, we always have great finance plans in place. We're able to do it with no money out of pocket, no money down for a lot of people. The goal is to make it as easy as possible for everybody.
Yeah. So as far as growth and development, do you see you adding any other services besides the one you offer? This is a loaded question, but how do you decide what's next? Is it product development? Is it hiring new people? Is it
Yeah. We're going to continue to focus on the baths. We have a game plan and some commitment with BCI. They're supporting us. They're a phenomenal partner. I can't say enough about them. We'll continue to focus on baths primarily. Windows are secondary. That's where we'd really like to grow the business, through baths and windows and doors. We're partnered with Provia on windows and doors, another phenomenal partner. But yeah, what's next? Continue to recruit great people. We're looking to grow and looking to increase their value in the marketplace.
How do you gather? I haven't looked in a while, but how do you gather feedback? Do you have a lot of reviews on Google, or do you ask them afterwards, or is there something kind of automated? What's the biggest feedback you've gotten just from customers kind of going 2 years, almost going in your third year?
Yeah, we have. So all of our reviews, primarily, they're on Google and Better Business Bureau. All of them are 5-star. They're all organic. We don't ask for we ask for reviews one time when we're completed with your project. If I'm out there at the house on the day it's getting completed, which I try to go out to a lot of them, I'll sort of interview you as the homeowner, as the customer. I want to know what was great, what was bad, what was ugly. I'm primarily trying to figure out where can we get better.
Sure.
And I ask that question: what can we do to be better at what we do? Most of the time, everybody's like, "That's great.
Did it all in 2 days. Did it all in a day."
Yep. And I'll ask them if they mind giving us a review. There's an email we send out at the end of the job. It's got warranty documents, care and cleaning instructions for the product. And in that email, I ask, hey, if you had a 5-star experience, please share it with the world using these links. If you didn't and there's something we can do better, please let me know so we can improve.
Sure.
I'll tell you, a really common thread in our reviews are people mentioning me. I have this saying that the last impression is the lasting impression. So I think that's huge. I think it's really important to us and to the customer. They're making big investment in their house.
Right.
They should feel good about it.
That's cool. Over the next 3 to 5 years, do you see it going in still the tri-state area? Do you see it expanding outwards?
Yeah, 3 to 5 years, we'll have a handful of locations along the eastern seaboard. Probably from here down to Florida, Alabama.
Cool. So there's different places you interested in tapping into.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what role does sustaining, because we talked about it previously, it's not like you just I start doing baths in New Jersey and then I start doing baths in Florida. It's never linear. There's always there's different times of the year when it's busier than others, and it's a little bit of a roller coaster. How do you kind of keep it sustainable while still growing, and also keeping it ethical, where they're not being hard sold or anything, or if it's stuff you can't watch, like what your salespeople are saying out on meetings.
Mhm.
How do you keep all that balanced? Like a better term?
It's process. It's the culture of the company.
Mhm.
We have core values. We live by those core values. Everybody has a copy of those core values. We talk about the core values. When we're faced with a challenge, look, we're human. Everybody makes mistakes. We're not perfect. And when that happens and we're discussing solutions, the first consideration is let's throw the three ideas we have for the solution up on the board, on the whiteboard. Now let's look at those and see how they fit into our core values.
Mhm.
Those core values will tell us the right thing to do. So in the event we have somebody that kind of goes sideways out there with a homeowner or something like that, and thank God we haven't had it. Hasn't happened yet.
Mhm.
But if we do, it's a coaching opportunity. It's a chance to bring them in and instruct them.
Yeah. So how many different companies would you say, whether it's yours or let's just start with the ones you launched. You've launched a lot of big home services companies and then have left. So, are you gonna do you have a do you just want to focus in the home services industry, or do you want to go outside of it in different industries? Like how many, a lot of the mentors and stuff like that. Just think of Grant Cardone and a lot of the very entrepreneurial. A lot of those people, like they come in, they build it, whether it's a home services business, whether it's a media marketing business, whether it's a. Do you have any aspirations to do other industries, other startups, things like that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm interested. Every industry that has people attached to it,
Mhm.
right? If people are the clients, there's areas for improvement, for a better service, to add more value for the investment the customer's making. Um, every company has areas of opportunity for efficiencies, processes, predictability. Um, yeah, I'm interested. I like business.
Mhm.
Home services just happens to be where I'm planted in at the moment. But yeah, I mean, listen, I've worked in the insurance industry. I've worked in transportation and logistics for some really large companies. It's all fascinating. It's all interesting. But at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. It's money in, money out, and people.
Yeah, you gotta take care of people.
It's what it's about.
Yeah, I've heard this like 80-20 rule. Like if you were a young entrepreneur and you're working at a job, but you're also trying to launch your own thing, do you have any advice for people like that? I've seen that like 80-20 rule where like, hey, that's kind of a newer approach. You see like Gary Vee, or you see like I'm doing now with iHeart, and luckily they let me do my thing with my Philly sports.
Yep.
Like I'm still 80-90% iHeart, and then 20%. Is there any validity to that? Like the 80-20 rule? Like work at your job and then work on your business, and then eventually it's going to flip. Like there'll be a day where, I'm working at Joe's Roofing, and then I want to start my own bath company. 80% of the time, I'm at Joe's Roofing. 20% of the time, like on the weekends, I'm doing like little bath projects, and then there's a day that it flips, and then you start doing the baths 80% of the time, and you basically kind of resign from Joe's
Full time,
Roofing. Does
yeah.
that make sense? Is there any advice as far as like flipping or how to get started?
Yeah, here's what I would say about that. Number one, just start, right? People get hung up in the planning. That's really just a stall. I mean, you have to get started. Number two, wherever you should, my suggestion, you just alluded to it, right? Because there is a right way to do things. Where you're living 80% of the time, you should be transparent with them about what you're doing in the other 20% of the time, because otherwise you're trying to live two lives, and that in itself is a distraction. And if your full-time job is not okay with that 20% thing, well, then you have a decision to make. Maybe you're in the wrong full-time job, because if everybody has bills to pay, you have to pay the bills, right? Take care of the family. Or maybe the 20% thing, maybe your little side hustle isn't the right hustle for you. But the biggest challenge I see people have, I've been there, is saying, hey, I'm going to replace this full-time job with my business.
Sure.
And when you give up that primary stream of income, things can get tight real quick, and you can start to make decisions for the business that aren't in the best interest of the business. That's something I would say, be aware of it and avoid that. Build your bankroll. If that 20% thing, if your sports thing is making money, let it keep piling the money. Let it become sustainable on its own. And then, the ultimate thing, everybody says, most people, when you ask, why did you go into business? They say they want freedom, right? They want to be able to do whatever they want to do. When the reality is, what you did was just, most people, they position themselves to have the highest responsibility of a job and get paid the least amount for it. Mm-hmm. So the best way to exit your full-time job and gain that freedom is build a team doing that side job so that you don't have to be in the middle of that. That makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would say just get started. Anybody that wants to do it, what's like the first step? Is it like just filing for the name or for the LLC?
That doesn't even have to be the first thing.
No.
Listen, I mean, look, like, I don't know everything about your sports thing, right? But to get that started, you don't need to go get an LLC or anything. Get to a game, start interviewing people. Just start talking to people.
Sure.
I hate this saying, but fake it till you make it. I mean, go out there. Something I learned from Grant Cardone. This is his model. Commit first, figure the rest out later. You have an idea, go sell the idea. Don't worry about creating the product. A lot of these influencers do that with books. They'll promote the book. They'll sell the hell out of the book. It's not even written yet.
Yeah,
but listen, test the market. Is there a demand? If there's not a demand, you may think there is. So go prove it. Prove the demand. If there's not a demand, don't spend your time and money getting the LLC. And again, getting organized. Just start. Just get it started.
Just get started.
Yeah, prove the demand, prove the interest, and look. At the end of the day, one of the things to consider is what problem are you solving, or what gap are you filling? If you're solving a problem or filling a gap somewhere, you're probably onto a good thing.
Cool. Yeah. Is there any upcoming, any last words, anything people should be on the lookout for Blissful Baths? Any events coming up?
Our calendar is full for October. Every weekend we're at the South Jersey Home Show. We're at the Cran Fest out in Chatsworth. We're at the Wildwood RV Show. This weekend we're at the Hamilton Fall Fest up at Blueberry Crossing. We just brought on a field events guy. So we filled the calendar up with events, some retail locations. So all that's coming up. And we're in the fall season. So right now until the holidays, I mean, we're in one of those seasons I mentioned earlier where we have a committed level of business we're giving to our lenders. So we're getting a little bit crazy with the deals we're offering.
Cool.
Yes.
If I call, I know you may not be able to say this, but if I called today or came to your website today, what's that process look like? How fast could you call my home, do a consult, and then get me on the calendar to do the project?
Yeah. I'll walk you through the process in quick fashion. If you went on the website you're going to get a call from one of our CSRs, probably Cassandra. She's going to call you. She'll ask you a series of questions, get you in our system, schedule you a consultation. We'll assign you a consultant. They'll come out there. They'll inspect your bathroom. They'll measure the bathroom. They're going to bring the showroom to you. They're going to bring all the samples. We have an app on the iPad. It's a 3D app, so you can build your bath or your shower. Pretty neat. And then at that point, they're going to provide you a detailed proposal with an exact price. We'll get you on the schedule right there.
Oh, we got two knuckleheads in the studio.
What's up, man? We just playing around in here.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry, man.
All good.
Come on.
See, Jeff? What's going on, man?
Jeff
Jess does this place is big enough to
What's
throw a
up,
party.
everybody? We recording? Sorry, do your thing.
But that's JoJo from the ZXL Morning Show. This place is big enough to throw a party in here. We have a fridge. JoJo, is there beer stocked in there?
There was until we got We got here.
There's one. That's good. But anyway, before we got really in there, take me back through the process. So I go on the site and I call you.
Go on the site, right? We're going to call you. We're going to get you in the system. We're going to schedule you a consultation. Send a consultant out. They'll come out. They'll measure. They'll inspect. Go through everything. Design your new bathroom on an app on the iPad. Give you a detailed proposal and exact price. And if you want to hire us, boom, we get you on the schedule right there. Next step may vary. Depends upon scope of work. Sometimes we'll do what we call a detail appointment, where we'll send somebody else out to kind of double check some measurements, scope of work. We get your materials ordered. We're about 6 weeks out right now. Once we order your materials, we let you know, hey, materials are ordered. Then we'll let you know the date they're estimated to come in. And then once they come in, we inspect them, we inventory them, and then we call you to schedule your installation. And it's 1 to 2 days. Even a full bath remodel, our average full bath remodel is 2 to 3 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you call probably in a little bit more than a month's time, the project only takes a day, but if you call, pretty much get an appointment right away within that week or the next week, and then we'll get you on the calendar, and your project will be mentally completed, as they say. And then it's just a matter of going there and doing it in the 2 days or so.
Check the box, take it off your plate. One less thing to worry about.
Cool.
And it's all got a lifetime warranty. And everybody talks about lifetime warranty, but in the bath space, that means no service calls, no service charges. Like we own it.
Sure.
You call us 10 years from now if there's a problem, and we're quick on it. We get service calls, not many at all, but I can tell you our average response time from your call to somebody at your house is less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we appreciate Jeff for coming on. I've known Jeff for a long time. Long overdue. BlissfulBaths.com. That's a URL, right?
Yeah, blissfulbaths.com.
BlissfulBaths.com. And contact them today. Any final words for the people?
No, listen, if you know somebody that needs some work on their home, give us a call. 609-913-3600.
You can hit them up there. You'll see some of these clips from today on social media. And then obviously you could always hit me up or hit up IHM Atlantic City. Any of our partners here, we can get you their contact and get you set up. So we appreciate it, Jeff.
Hey, I appreciate you having me in, man.
Yeah, it's going to be good.